Hi, peeps. You're listening to She's My Cherry Pie, the baking podcast from the Cherry Bomb Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jessie Sheehan. I'm a baker, recipe developer, and author of 4 baking books, including Snackable Bakes. In each episode, I hang out with some of the sweetest bakers around and take a deep dive into their signature bakes. My guest today is Dan Pelosi. Dan is a recipe developer, best-selling cookbook author, New York Times contributor, designer, and the wonderful peep you probably know as Grossy Pelosi. He's built one of the most joyful communities on the internet, and his latest book, Let's Party, Recipes and Menus for Celebrating Every Day, features over 100 recipes organized into themed dinner parties with menus for every season and occasion, and loads of tips and tricks or guides for being the best host you can be. Dan split his time between upstate New York and the city, and his background is in design. He graduated from the Rhode Island School of Design and worked for brands like Gap and Nike before establishing a career in food. Dan brings his eye for design to his cooking and entertaining style and loves to incorporate lots of color and texture into every dish and every room in his house. He joins me today to talk about his early food memories, his Instagram-famous grandfather Bimpy's basement kitchen, where Dan's love of food was born, catering his sister's sleepover parties as a little kid, and the secret ingredient in his mother's carrot cake. Then Dan walks me through his death by chocolate recipe for New York Times Cooking. And I have to tell you, peeps, that when I saw this recipe of Dan's online, I knew he had to come on the pod to discuss it. It's a trifle-like dessert consisting of layers of chocolate cake, chocolate pudding. Dan calls for a cornstarch-set pudding, which I love, whipped cream, and a crunchy topping of crumbled Oreos, Dan's mom's fave, or chopped toffee candy bars. It's a fairly simple dessert to make despite the 3 components, and it's perfect for a summer barbecue or whipping up for Father's Day. You are going to love my chat with Dan, so stay tuned. The new issue of Cherry Bomb magazine is almost here. If you already subscribe to our print magazine, thank you. Be sure to check your inbox so you can choose which cover you'd like to get. We have 5 different covers. The theme is game changers, and all of the women featured have changed the game in a major way. Not a subscriber? Head to cherrybomb.com, subscribe, and get issues delivered directly to you. You can also pick up an issue at one of the great bookstores and culinary shops that carry Cherry Bomb, like McNally Jackson and Kitchen Arts and Letters right here in New York City. Let's chat with today's guest. Dan!
Hi!
So excited to have you on She's My Cherry Pie and to chat death by chocolate.
Oh my gosh.
With you and so much more.
I'm so honored to be here. I'm a big Jessie Sheehan fan.
Oh. Can you please share your earliest childhood baking memory? So something you actually baked.
Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, so it was with my Grandpa John, who is my Grandma Millie, who's my mom's mother's, her husband, not my mom's dad. It was her second husband. I was in their basement, and John would always let me and my sister make yuck cakes, we called them. And it was really just... I got to grab anything in the pantry, throw it in a bowl, mix it up, and we would bake it. John was so fun, and he would always take a bite, no matter what.
Oh, my gosh.
And it was great because it was truly just like I got to just have fun, explore, see what happened. And then he would like acknowledge it by taking a bite, which looking back is like truly extremely, it was so sweet. And it was also just like validating. And I still think to this day it validates what I tell people about cooking, which is like, if you ate it, you did it, right? You might learn that you didn't like something. You might learn that next time you'll do more salt, but you still ate it and it was still a success.
I love it. Do you remember how old you were when you first made a yuck cake?
Like 4 or 5, like so young.
You're such a good grandpa.
Really sweet.
Okay, what about an early baked good eating memory? Something that Grandma Catherine, anybody.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many. I think my mom's corn muffins, that was always huge. My mom's Italian bread, which is in my first book, Let's Eat. My mom used to make that Italian bread all the time. It's so delicious. She would make it for like our church, fundraisers. She would bag it. She would put the recipe in the bag. Like I have all these memories of just that bread coming out of the oven. And also obviously like when it comes out of the oven, you slice it immediately, and put butter on it. And you're just like,
yeah.
Italian bread is a huge part of my childhood. Bimpy would show up with a fresh loaf from ShopRite every Sunday morning with all the flyers, and him and my dad would talk about coupons, and I would eat warm Italian bread.
Often I will ask a guest, did you come from a family that cared about food? But so well documented is the Pelosi food family. This is my favorite. Your mother actually prioritized food over school. Please tell us. Please tell us about the dismissal
the early dismissal pot roast.
Yes.
So my mom would send me to school with an early dismissal note because I had to turn the oven on to make the pot roast for dinner. They didn't have jobs where you could just like leave. Like she was a nurse, my dad was a teacher. So I was like, I'll go home and turn the pot roast on. And then it's so funny because everyone also knew that when we had the pot roast, because it filled the whole house. And my mom, I went to like a private Catholic school. So my mom would iron, bless her heart. Eventually I did it. My clothes and hang them out for the next day. Yeah. And I was a walking pot roast scented candle at school the next day. My friends would be like, pot roast for dinner?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
We didn't do anything besides eat and talk about eating. That was my entire childhood. Yeah. Like I would watch movies. I loved movies that had food scenes where people were eating. And my mom saw that joy and would make the food in the movie. It allowed me to eat along with the people on screen.
Oh my God.
I was actually with someone this morning and she was like, your mom inspires me to like be the kind of mom that she was. I want to have like those memories with my kids. And I was like, you will, no matter what you do.
All right. So you write a lot about being an indoor kid, which I love. It feels super connected to your love of food and cooking. Like you didn't want to be inside playing video games or because you didn't have friends. You wanted to be inside. And is it fair to say that maybe that love and that indoor kidness blossomed in Bimpy and Catherine's basement?
Oh, absolutely.
Which sounds insane.
No, all the basements.
Okay, tell us about all the basements and also you and Diana on the stairs.
Yeah. I mean, artists have their studios where they make a mess and they create, and then the art gets hung in a gallery, right? So in my family, the studio was the basement kitchen. So a lot of immigrant families have the basement kitchen, Italian Americans especially. And it was just sort of like, I mean, there was like a little bodega-sized pantry, right? Where it was just like Bimpy and his can sale, speaking of ShopRite. Stock up. I mean, we always said if the world ended, we would all be alive longest because of Bimpy's basement bodega. And then they had like, piles of pots and 2 stoves and 5 freezers. And my sister and I would sit on the stairs and watch as they cooked. And we were always like the testers. And it was like, is the marinara done? Is the marinara done? And I would always be like, I think it needs this, just so I could keep eating it, right? Like I'd be like, it's not done yet. And it just was where they created it. And then they would carry the food up the stairs to the kitchen that didn't ever get used. It was basically just like for keeping food warm. And that's where we would eat. And it was this very sort of, when Italian Americans moved to the country, they wanted to impress everyone, right? Because they were like in America. And so they was like the show. It's why my grandma Millie and my other grandmother had like plastic on her sofa. You know what I mean? Because it was like, we have to impress people and it has to be like spotless. So I just love that energy. I now, I don't have a basement kitchen. I make a mess in my own kitchen, but those memories, and that's really where I learned it was like the lab.
And you don't eat down there. Like even at lunch, would Bimpy and Catherine have sat down there to eat something? They would have walked upstairs.
No, I mean, we all eat the food before we serve it.
Right.
And then they would bring it upstairs and just stare at you while you eat it, right? Because they're like full.
That was totally me raising my kids. Yeah. They would just say, Mom, do you eat? I was like, God. I already did.
Kids, my diet would be chicken nuggets. All day long.
Oh my God, please. Hello. All right, another example of the connection between like being indoor kid, love of food. Tell us about catering Diana's sleepovers with snacks.
Oh my God.
When you were little,
literally.
She's older, yes?
She's older. She's 3 years older. My only interests as a child were those of like a girl.
Yeah.
I like played with Barbies. My grandma Millie would bring me to her basement. It was like Mood Fabrics because she was a sewer. So she made all my mom and my aunt's clothes. And then when I was a kid, we would make clothes for my Barbie dolls. I got My Little Ponies for my birthday. So when my sister's friends came over to sleep over, I was literally like, hi. Like I just wanted to be one of the girls. And so I worshiped them. And I would just I was like feeding them. I was like trying to brush their hair. Like my sister was like a competitive cheerleader in high school. And we would go on these like long trips to Virginia on a bus. And I was the only boy, like sibling of any of the cheerleaders. And I was literally like, you would have thought I had like an official title as like cheerleader assistant.
Okay.
Like,
tell me about, if you remember, any of the snacks you made, and were there any sweets that you made?
I mean, I remember making brownies for sure. My mom, we made a lot of brownies.
Homemade or boxed?
Homemade.
Okay.
Cheesecake brownies where you swirl some cream cheese into them. And then my gay ass would food color them.
Nice.
Halloween, it was like orange and black, or like Valentine's Day, it was red and, or chocolate, whatever. The double decadence of a cheesecake swirled into a brownie is just
brilliant. Also, though, it cuts the sweetness of it's actually perfect.
I've actually been secretly working on my mom's recipe and trying to adapt it, and I'm cutting sugar in the cheesecake.
It's
because you want the tang.
The tang is so good. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Are you looking for a little more cherry bomb in your life? Our annual magazine subscription is the perfect way to stay inspired all year long. You'll receive our beautiful new issues delivered right to your door with free shipping. Each issue is filled with thoughtful interviews, beautiful full-color photos, delicious recipes from the season's best cookbooks, and stories celebrating the women and creatives in the food and drink space. Subscriptions are $100 a year, and you can also gift one to the food lover in your life. Head to cherrybomb.com or click the link in our show notes to subscribe today. Now back to our guest. All right, so we obviously got to talk about Bimpy, who is your paternal grandfather. Yes. What I loved learning, which I kind of knew, Bimpy is a legit, first of all, he's like, what, 104 now?
104. I just saw him on Friday.
He is like a legit excellent cook. He's not just a lover of food and an appreciator of food. And you have said that some of your most popular recipes that you develop are Bimpy's.
Are Bimpy's. And my grandma Catherine, who passed away over 20 years ago, and if she were alive, she would be right up there in the echelon with Bimpy.
Yeah.
And so they just were like making the most delicious food. There was always extra food. There was always room for someone else at the table. Every holiday, Friday nights, we would go to their house for dinner. It's just like the dream Italian-American sort of like situation. And the other day I was talking to Bimpy, and he was reminiscing about when he was a kid, because I was telling him how I had planted my tomatoes. And he was like, when I was a kid, I always had a tomato in my pocket, because he would like sneak into the garden, pick a tomato, and he would have it in his pocket to eat. I was like, little Bimpy.
Oh my God.
He's like a little tank, too.
Did he grow up here?
He grew up in Connecticut.
That's what I mean. But he's not from. He wasn't born in Italy.
He wasn't born. I'm deeply American.
Okay.
As part of the Italian American, which is why there's cheese on my cheese.
Were you cooking and baking independently, or was it because everyone was cooking, you were always helping?
I mean, everyone was cooking, and I was very much helping. I will say that I didn't know I had it in me to do my own cooking, because I was always helping and watching and supporting, and I would take on tasks. But my junior year of college, or senior, I went to Italy. I lived in a villa with 30 students, and we had 3 kitchens, and it was like 10 students per kitchen. And let me tell you, within minutes, I was like, this is my kitchen. I would go to the farmer's market every day. I would have everyone working. My mom came to visit halfway through the year and was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like, you're literally taking everything you learned and bringing it to life. And that was where I was like, okay, this is like a real passion.
Dan. Goosebumps. Yeah. That's like beautiful.
And I would be like, you're going to do this, you do that, you do that. And we would make a group dinner. But I was really leading the charge. And for whatever reason, everyone there let me, which was really great. So
that's
it was
so interesting.
Really where I came into my own.
Yeah.
I was like a little spoiled Italian boy. Like my mom was like, no, I'll make it for you.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do this.
Yeah.
But then she remembers, she's like, at a certain point, you started bossing me around. And she loves it. My mom literally still, she'll text me and be like, my only wish in life is to come over and cook with you. And I'm like, no one's stopping you. Like, it's an hour and a half drive. Like, let's
come
go.
See me.
She's so dramatic.
Yeah.
About it.
Many of your childhood food memories are very like Sunday dinner focused, which I love.
Yes.
Can you tell us about desserts that were served at Sunday dinner?
Oh my gosh, it was always so seasonal.
I read about official dessert of the family, Grandma Catherine's rice pudding.
Oh yeah, the rice pudding.
Okay, so would that have been an appropriate Sunday night dinner?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Because that was year round, but in the summer, that rice pudding, oh my God.
And that's when she wanted you to help because she needed someone to stir.
Yes, the stirring.
Also, maybe your mom's carrot cake?
Oh, this we need to talk about.
Right, because I want you to tell the secret ingredient.
Well, first of all, in my family, it's really important that whatever we make can last. Like, there's the like leftover factor of it, and nothing that I've ever eaten lasts better in the fridge than this cake. 4 days later, you're just like inhaling it. It gets better every day. It's so moist. And the secret ingredient, it's one bowl.
And recipes on your site, yes?
Recipes on my site. Secret ingredient, baby food. Carrot, baby food. So forget about shredding carrots, although respect, whatever. So much concentrated flavor, right? It's moisture.
Yeah.
It tastes more like a carrot than a carrot, even though the ingredient's 100% carrots. If you don't want to buy baby food, you can boil some carrots and mash them, whatever, but just buy the baby food.
Yeah.
2 jars. And then it's got a lot of other moisture. It's got oil, it's got eggs, it's got coconut. It's kind of hummingbirdish, but it ultimately tastes like carrot.
Pineapple or
pineapple.
no? Okay.
Yes, it's got pineapple, which you do not taste. It just, all of it brings to life the idea of the most delicious carrot cake.
Did your mom invent it?
My mom was the queen of just chatting about food. You know the mom of the neighborhood who has the best food?
Yeah.
Which is my goal in life. That was my mom. And so she just was really interested. So she started making it. I think my grandmother, Catherine, might have also done it too. But, you know, sometimes you just attribute things to like your mom.
I really have to
like
try
food.
it, Dan.
Oh, you have to make it. And then you have to stop yourself from eating the whole thing. Because then the
cream cheese frosting
seals it in this way. And it makes great cupcakes. It makes a good sheet cake. It makes a good layer cake. My mom would make a bunt. It's so...
All right, I'm doing it.
No, it's so
good. I'm doing it. Okay, so the Pelosi's and extended in mom's side too are not only food family, also a baking family because the entire month of December growing up is baking month.
Cookies.
And
holiday cookies.
Everyone in the family has a cookie.
Everyone in the family has many cookies. Whoever's house you're at has the best cookie you've ever eaten.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have to tell them that.
Of course.
And everyone has the plate of cookies all month long on their table that's ever evolving. It's like Gorp. You just add whatever, right? It's like whoever comes by and everyone's bringing their cookies to everyone else's house. And so, and you're just eating them with like breakfast, you're with a cup of coffee.
Yep.
After lunch, you're having it at dinner, you're having a snack. Incredible. And this is what, you know, has led to sort of the thing that I think if I'm famous for anything, it's my cookie parties.
Yep.
I remember the basement, not the basement stairs going down, but the ones that would go up to the hatch outside was really cold. So my grandmother would put all the cookies in tins and put them on those stairs. And I remember going and looking through all the tins because that was like cold storage.
Oh my God, love.
Yeah.
I think you and I share a favorite, which is peanut blossoms. Oh. But what was Wimpy's
favorite cookie?
And did he make one?
You know,
or he would have made one with Catherine.
I think Catherine. Wimpy was really good at doing the labor. Like he would sit and cut. They made these. I've never made them, but they made these like you would cut them with a zigzag thing, and then you'd tie them in like a knot, and then you would fry them.
Yes. I forget what those are called, but yes.
He would do. I remember him doing that.
Love fried. Yeah.
You know, a fried cookie.
Fried is just my favorite food.
My grandma Millie would do, and I have these, they're not really a cookie, but she would buy like wonton wrappers and cut them into strips and then just deep fry them and drizzle honey on them with almonds and powdered sugar. It was like...
That's heaven.
Heaven.
Thank you, Millie. All right, what about cookbooks and food TV in your childhood home? I know you grew up as a Food Network kid.
Yeah. I know is my favorite.
I know, of course.
Giada was great. I mean, I loved Rachel Ray.
Yeah, I loved Rachel.
Yeah, marathons. That and HGTV, which is kind of like my personality.
Yeah.
Like Food Network and HGTV.
What about cookbooks? Did your mom and first of all, we haven't even said it, but your dad is a great cook too.
My dad's a great cook too. Yeah, my dad made dinner Monday through Friday.
Right.
He would come home, he would cook. My mom would drive in. My mom on the weekends did big project cooking, which was really fun too. We'd be out to dinner and she would have something and she'd be like, I'm going to try to make this. You know, she was like really adventurous, which was super fun. So we were always like trying to recreate recipes from the restaurant. But a lot of the cookbooks were like the church cookbooks, the school cookbooks, the family cookbooks. And honestly, it wasn't even cookbooks. It was recipe cards with like my grandmother's handwriting.
That's what I thought. Like family recipes.
Like family recipes. And then eventually when we got a Costco membership, I discovered Ina on the pile. And I was like, Ina really introduced me to like American comfort food because I think I was really focused on Italian American comfort food. And I really learned what American comfort food, homemade, not just like McDonald's, was from her. Yeah.
I was going to mention this thing about your mom recreating restaurant meals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I love that. And then also I love that basically you guys never went to restaurants, except if you did, you went to the same two.
Oh, the same two.
And they were both Italian.
Yeah, they were both Italian. And we would eat the same thing. We would go to Nino's.
Right. Was that the pizza one?
No. So there was Nino's, which sadly closed. Okay. We would go there. And then we would go to Pizza Castle.
Yeah.
And the man who owned Pizza Castle, two things. So older women would go to like the salon and get their hair like set for the week.
Yeah.
And so the man who owned Pizza Castle and my grandma Catherine had the same hairdresser, and he would also do. So him and my grandmother had the same haircut. And it was I think his name was Pete, and he was like an older guy, and we were like, literally, you have the same haircut. It was so funny.
You end up going to art school to RISD.
Mm-hmm.
But this I loved learning. Your first dream when you were in high school was actually to go to culinary school.
Yeah, it was.
And that you visited the CIA.
I visited the CIA.
Tell me.
I was so down to go to culinary school. I wanted to be like a cook, and I was really excited. And I went to the CIA, and we did a tour, and I was like, this is great. And then my mom came home one day and was like, oh, my friend, whatever, her son went to culinary school, and he, in his first semester, gained 30 pounds.
Mm.
And we can talk forever about disordered eating and the relationship with food.
Yep.
And that terrified me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I can't do that.
Do you think she was trying to scare you?
No.
No,
she had no idea. My mom, as much as she contributed to my disordered eating, had no idea she was doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her for a second.
Yeah.
It just is the reality.
Yeah. Was this even true that it was also the design pull?
I mean, I watched a lot of TRL, and I was obsessed with motion graphics on television. They did like the coolest motion graphics, and I was like, oh my gosh, MTV motion graphics, I want to do that. So I went to RISD for graphic design, but then I switched to architecture.
Yeah, tell me. I read interior architecture. Like, what does that
interior
mean?
Architecture.
Does that mean like interior design?
No, it was very much not interior design.
Okay.
It was
because you're very good at interior design.
Thank you. It was adaptive reuse of existing buildings.
Oh, cool.
So I was not interested in building something fresh from the ground up.
Right.
I was like, what can we do? And really, I just wanted to design mall stores.
Yeah.
This is what happened. Freshman year, one of my professors, freshman year at RISD is everyone takes the same classes.
Yeah.
It's a foundation year. It's terrifying. But my 3D teacher, Ken Hori, who I loved, he was this like extremely chic Japanese man. And he was like, I think you should design like William Sonoma.
Oh, you wrote about him somewhere. I'm not sure where.
And I was like, are you reading my diary? Like, I mean, to be told that I am seen as someone who should design a William Sonoma store, how are we rethinking the bread and the oil of the cash wrap? You know what I mean? So it clicked, and I was like, I want to design retail stores for malls. And I did. I worked. That's what I did for the first 15, 20 years of my career. I did that. The thing about RISD and the thing that I love about design and what I still implement every single day is problem solving through design. And that is what I love. Whether I'm making a Barbie dream house or like building my new kitchen, which is like the same thing. Yeah. It's just problem solving through design. And that's what I was taught there. I don't know what other people got, but I learned how to look at a design problem and break it down and solve it. Yeah. I was never interested in just like, I'm going to sit down and draw a tree. I'm like, why am I drawing that tree? Yeah. Give me a reason and I want to solve it. And so that was what I went to school to do. And that's what I learned. And so after years and years of creating and designing for other brands, I got to finally doing it for myself. Which is really hard. Yeah.
But it was sort of during this RISD experience that Rome happened and that you had sort of had your light bulb food moment. Sure. And then when you graduated, you literally were designing stores when you were 24.
Yeah, I was working at Gap in San Francisco.
Insane. You're like a wonderkind.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Oh, my God. But you were cooking and baking all the time. And on Saturdays and Sundays.
Casually, farmer's market. I had the smallest apartment in San Francisco. I would like put my Murphy bed up and unfold my table and chairs and like
have people over.
Yeah. I loved what I learned from my family, but I also have had so many incredible friends who are incredible cooks and entertainers. And that has been like a second education of food. And that started in San Francisco and it's amazing.
When you were kind of getting really into baking and cooking and you started documenting on Instagram. Yeah. And then I read, and I don't totally understand this, but hopefully you can explain, you kind of like focused in on it after your cookie party of 2019.
Yeah. By the way, has anyone ever done more research for a podcast than you? I don't think so. I thought we were just going to have like we're just going to chill.
Sorry, honey.
Maybe talk shit.
I should have warned you.
I should have warned you. Let's go. Gold star. Yeah. So the cookie party I started when I moved to New York. Okay. I was living in this very small apartment. One of my good friends, I was living in an apartment that her family owned, and she lived on the 4th floor, and I was living on the 1st floor. And we decided that we were going to do like a sweet and savory holiday party. Sweet would be in my apartment, savory would be in hers.
And this would be 2019,
No, this was like 2012 or whatever. So we did it, and I just was like, well, I'm going to make cookies. So I took my kitchen island, which was small, but I put tins of cookies out, and everyone was in my apartment the whole time. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then the next year I moved to Brooklyn and I was like, I'm going to do the cookie party. So I was like, how am I going to do this? So I rolled a big thing of brown paper out and I had everyone bring cookies and they did really neat piles because I arranged them. And then put your name and your Instagram. And then the idea, what I hoped for was that everyone would like have conversations about their cookies. So you'd be like, who made this incredible like lime curd? And they'd be like, Jessie Sheehan, oh my God, hi, let's chat, I want to know. And then you'd be like, well, my grandmother made this when she was, whatever. And it happened and it was amazing. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. So then I would do it every year and it became this thing. And then at the time I was friends with like some BA people when that was a thing. And so then they would come and it just got all this publicity. And so in 2019, my Uncle Phil, my favorite person in the whole world, had just passed away in October. I was very sad. At the end of that day, was just like, that is the best day of the year. And there's something there. And if I want to change my joy or shift it, I should look into food and focusing. So I was like, I made this promise to myself that in January, I would make even more food than I did and post about it. Because before I'd be like, oh, a floating bag or like a neon light or like whatever. And my Instagram, I have like 40,000 photos on it that post on Instagram. I was like, let's just focus it on food and like see what happens, right? And so then I just started doing that in January. And then Emily Schultz, who used to run the BA with Rachel Carton, the Instagram, she was like, you should put your recipes in stories because people want to cook them. So I started doing story posts of the recipes, which is the worst place to put a recipe, but it worked. By March 12th, when the pandemic hit, my account, if you scrolled until exhaustion, sort of looked like a food account. And so then I'm bored. I'm working from home. My pantry's stocked. Now I get to cook 7 days a week instead of just 2. I became a resource for people and they started finding me and it just took off. And then layered with my ridiculous personality on top, it just was a safe space for people during a really tough time.
Yeah.
I just feel like I was raised to stay home. That's what I'm good at.
Indoor kid
like
forever.
I'm very good at staying home.
Yeah. Well, also the timing is brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it was
horrible,
horrible. But I will know for the rest of my life that I got many, many people through a really tough time because I got messages all the time about it. I still do. And I think that is really beautiful. And it was nothing I intended to do. All of this has been, I just get to live my life. And who knew that it was relevant and usable.
Yeah.
I do think that my marketing background allowed me to create teachable content and also be very clear.
And also visually. Super appealing.
Yeah. The power of a logo. The minute I put a logo up, people are like, oh, you've been doing this for 40 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
maybe. But was it weird to go from like working for the brand to being the brand?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was a part of me that was like, this is really fun and I can do this. I have confidence in being myself. I don't have confidence in making a recipe, but it seems to be going just fine. But I do have confidence and I know who I am and I know what my values are and I know what makes me laugh and I know that makes other people laugh. And I think for me, the joy is why I'm here. It's not really the food. The food is just like part of it. And I've been I've been expanding and I just did a collection with Ruggable.
Tell us about it. So fun.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I love to make a mess. And so Ruggable's washable rugs. I've been sharing them for a while. My mother-in-law, Kath, who has the best taste ever, had bought one when she renovated her kitchen a few years ago. And I had been sort of posting. And, with affiliate, I haven't really gotten to affiliate. But once I did, like last year, you can track kind of like how many clicks you get on stuff. And so I was like, am I the new ABC Carpet and Home? Like, I'm selling so many rugs. It was so amazing. So then the CMO of Ruggable literally DM'd me on Thanksgiving in 2025 and was like, I just feel like you need to know that your Architectural Digest rug is on sale and the girls need to know. And like, by the way, we love you. And like, we should do something on time. And I was like, we should do something on time. And then she was like, oh my God, so fun. And I was like, a doormat that says I live here now, which is like my catchphrase. And then I was like, blah, blah, blah. I had all these ideas. So then in January, she emailed and we did it. And the collection came out last month and it's like so fun. It's so me. It's bright and colorful, and they let me do whatever I want. I felt like I was back in creative director mode. Yeah. I'm actually coming out with another collab, so people will hear about that. And, I think when I was a kid, it all stems from my parents and my like, I redecorated my own bedroom like 6 times before the age of like 15.
I think I read your really fun Saturday activity would be going to Sherwin and Williams,
Sherwin-Williams.
To get paint color for your bedroom.
I would be like, Mom, the new Ralph Lauren wallpaper book just dropped at Sherwin-Williams. Honestly, how I knew. but I knew, and we'd go and thumb through it, and they still have it. The final form of the dining room and living room is like the most beautiful. Do you know the Bimpy Thanksgiving photo of my dad's house? That wallpaper, it's like my favorite.
Yeah.
And I did like the stripes like under the wainscoting. And they let me. It was like the yuck cake for my whole life. Like they were like,
I didn't realize it wasn't just your bedroom.
No, it was the whole house. Oh, I did the whole house like 3 times. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about your books. 2 New York Times bestselling cookbooks, Let's Eat, Let's Party. But tell us, just in case there's a human on the planet who doesn't know, what's the difference between them?
So Let's Eat is my first book. It's deeply Italian-American. It's filled with a lot of recipes I grew up eating and a lot of recipes that are inspired by the food I grew up eating. Every head note is going to be some anecdote about my family. It has a lot of beginner cooking information. It has like how to store your herbs, your checklist before baking. I love to do guides. I love general information. Specificity kind of is like the death of me. So all my recipes are like, you could swap in everything. Very, very sort of like helpful beginner information. And then
cleaning your oven with your mom?
Yes, my mom wrote a guide to cleaning. I always do a guest guide. I always say if someone's like beginning their journey, that's a great book for them. Also good for people who know how to cook. Also, if you love marinara or tomatoes, this book is for you. When I was developing...
Or chocolate cake.
Well, yes, true. That has a really good chocolate cake. When I was writing the book, I joked that it was a 5-ingredient cookbook. It's like garlic, tomatoes, olive oil, basil, and then one other thing. And you have a chocolate cake. And then Let's Party. It's an ode to my love of dinner parties. I've had the experience throughout my whole life when people leave dinner at my house, they say, thanks, that was such a great party. And I'm always like, what the fuck? That wasn't a party. Like, this is just a Friday. Like, I don't party. So to call it Let's Party was really funny. My editor and I were going back and forth about it. But it's really just like how to entertain in a way that you don't know you're entertaining, right? It's like repetition. Here's some basic stuff. None of it's going to break your brain, but it's like really simple things that I've always done and I watched the Marias do my whole life that now allows me to throw a dinner party with no effort, right? It's my joy. It's not my like stress. And so that's what the book is about. And it has guides. All the recipes are divided by menus because in Let's Eat, there's a page that's like, here's some menus from all the different recipes. And people were like, this is so great. Thank you. I never know what to serve with what. So I was like, well, ding, ding, ding. Next book is just going to be menus. And they're all throughout the year. There's a tomato menu. There's my take on modern Thanksgiving. There's like a cookie party is in there. It has all these cookie recipes. There's a picnic chapter. There's a pool chapter. It's called Dips in the Pool, which is really just dips. But it's like very fun. And that book... Man, the styling and the art direction of that book, I just couldn't be prouder. Like, it is so beautiful.
It is. And Johnny Miller did an incredible job.
And the props house and the food. And Jess Damick.
Yes.
Like, oh my gosh. It's just, I could frame every photo in that book.
I mean, they're both so
beautiful. But I love a progression.
Yep.
I don't want to repeat the same thing twice. So I feel like Let's Eat was exactly what it needed to be. Let's Party is exactly what it needs to be.
Love. Now we're going to talk about Death by Chocolate.
Yes.
First of all, tell us what it is.
So Death by Chocolate is sort of like an 80s mom recipe. It was at a lot of barbecues. It's also very much a holiday recipe, too. Essentially, it's a layering, I think most traditionally, of a boxed devil's food cake, Cool Whip, chocolate pudding from a box, and either like a Score bar or a Heath bar chopped up for a crunch, or an Oreo cookie. And so you layer it. So you crumble the cake, you put it in a trifle bowl or a bowl or whatever you have, and you put it in the fridge and you serve it cold. And those moments in the fridge, I'm telling you, baked goods in the fridge are like my favorite thing. You take a big scoop of it, glass of milk, serve it on a hot day. Incredible.
Does the cake kind of absorb the pudding and the whipped cream?
Yeah,
so
I mean,
soft.
it's like sort of absorbs it, but it all just gets thicker and wetter. First of all, I just want to say I love the box mix version of everything, but I pitched to the Times to do this with like easy homemade variations. And my hope is that people would use one of those or all three or do a combo, right? Like maybe you don't want to have Cool Whip. So here's how to make homemade whipped cream, but you are going to make a box mix cake, right? So I just want to be clear that like I'm very open to mixing and matching.
Yep.
I sort of did the base recipe, but I also talk about kind of like all the stuff. You could add peppermint extract to the whipped cream with peppermint schnapps on the cake. And like, because you let the liquor, if you add it, soak into the cake.
Yeah. And then like chopped candy canes
or like mint Oreos or like whatever.
Yeah.
You can do a million things. I also think it'd be good with like raspberries in it or like, so it's just, it's a classic trifle Also, just the name Death by Chocolate.
Well,
the idea that you would die from chocolate.
Yeah.
You know, in the head note, I say, let it rest in peace in the fridge for at least 4 hours, which, you know, with the times, they're really sweet. And I love when they let me go off on the.
I love that.
Yeah. But it was really great. And I did a YouTube video for it recently, which was super fun.
I know for that fourth layer.
Yeah.
Is it true that your mom's fave is the Oreos?
Yeah.
She loves the Oreos.
My family, I think
what about you?
Me, I'm like Oreos.
Yeah, me too.
My family, it's like an Oreo.
Yeah.
You know, Score is great. I like toffee, but I'm like a cookies and cream Oreo.
Also, then they're going to get a little softer from the cream so that it's like all texturally.
And it's like, it's just an Oreo with milk. Like, are you kidding?
I love Oreos.
Yes.
Tell us about your aha moment at Aunt Chris.
Yes.
When she made a chocolate cake.
Yes. So, like most of my childhood, it was observing the female figures in my life, taking notes as a little gay boy, just sort of being like,
This is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
So my aunt was pulling a chocolate cake out of the oven. She's carrying it to the counter, and she like drops it onto the counter, and it crumbles, right? Which could break a person. Not Aunt Chris. She literally goes, I'll just make a death by chocolate. And I was like, oh my God, that is the chicest, most iconic, like, how easy is that, Ina moment I've ever seen. And then she proceeded to make a death by chocolate with the crumbled cake, and it was the best thing I've ever eaten.
Was that the first time you'd had it?
Yeah. No, it was just so, I mean, in my memory, who knows? You know, my little gay dramatic memory is like, you know. I mean, I was just like, this is the energy I hope to carry with me for the rest of my life.
Of course.
I
cannot believe you even grew up with somebody making that for you.
Yeah. No, it's like heaven. And so now I'm always just like, you can always make something out of something.
Would Chris have used, and I would, just like you, I have nothing against anything
box
boxed.
Everything.
She would have had boxed
everything. Yeah, no one thought to do anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, we did make a lot of stuff from scratch, but the idea of this recipe was like, we're busy moms.
Of course, I get it.
It's easy
also,
peasy. And
I love Cool Whip.
Oh, yeah.
Are you? Cool Whip with a spoon from the tub, Dan?
So Chris makes this chocolate cake.
Tell me.
She would make a chocolate bundt cake, and then she would take, oh my God, how have I not? She would take Cool Whip and chocolate pudding and mix them together and make a frosting.
Oh,
and then she would put it in the fridge. When that was cold, it was unreal. And it was such a thick, it was like at least 1.5 inches of frosting. It was insane.
And in a sheet cake, that would be amazing.
Yeah, the sheet cake would be so good.
First things first, we're going to heat our oven to 350.
Yeah.
We're going to grease a 9x13-inch baking pan with softened butter or baking spray.
Yeah.
I personally am a spray person. Are you butter? You're spray.
Spray.
Love you.
I spray the pan and then the top of the parchment. Like I'm creating a lubricated layer.
I feel you.
I'm not taking chances.
I feel you.
This is probably why Chris's cake fell out of the pan.
We spray it, but I did think this was interesting. When you line the pan in the video, you just put the parchment on the bottom.
Yeah.
But I always go up 2 sides.
I know.
Do you ever go up 2 sides?
Yeah.
Or no?
I'll go up. I go up a lot of.
I know that.
I'll go up a lot of sides. I do. I love a sling.
Yes, exactly. Honey.
I
that's
do.
What I'm saying. Or handles.
I do.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know why I didn't sling it. And this is part of the video, too. I was like, why am I not slinging this? You know when you write a recipe and you're like, what did I do?
Yeah.
Like, you got it.
But also, can I just say that I know the cake that we're going to discuss is also the cake from your first book. It's also sort of like that famous one bowl chocolate cake, et cetera.
It's like the one in my book.
And it kind of pulls away from the sides.
So you're going to break it up anyways.
Yeah,
so you could literally reach into the pan and grab it out.
We're going to make this cake. In a large bowl, we're going to whisk some all-purpose flour, some granulated sugar, some unsweetened cocoa powder, baking soda, baking powder, kosher salt. Questions.
Yeah.
What kind of whisk? Do you have a favorite brand?
I do.
Tell me.
I have a very, very favorite whisk. I've never seen a whisk do what this whisk does. It's from Material Kitchen.
Oh, nice.
Who we love.
Yes.
Have you seen their whisk?
No.
It's insane.
Should I picture long and skinny? Should I picture more balloony?
It's not balloony. It's like got some angles, but the thing that happens is, so the wire comes up, and then it goes back down.
Ooh.
So you get like double
the air being whisked into things. Love.
It's wild. It's really wild.
One more question: unsweetened cocoa powder. Do you ever use Dutch processed, or do you not care?
I use the black Hershey's box.
That's Dutch. The special dark.
Okay. Yeah.
I like that one. Yeah. Okay, we're going to stir in some hot coffee. Yes. Can you tell us why?
Flavor.
Yeah,
bloom that chocolate.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
it doesn't taste like coffee. People always get confused. Like, I don't like coffee. I'm like, this doesn't taste like coffee.
No.
Certain things bring out the flavor of other things. So this will bring out the flavor of the chocolate and make it stronger.
And why hot?
It's like when you bloom a spice, you want it to be hot,
to be warm in order to
like
get the flavor to pop.
Yeah.
So we're going to add some hot coffee. We're going to add some buttermilk.
Love buttermilk.
Me too. I'm assuming the temperature of the buttermilk doesn't really matter because we're already using hot coffee. Like, this is not a recipe where we're being fussy about room temp eggs, room temp buttermilk.
It's so easy. I don't do that well.
I know. I don't
do
really
fussy well.
I know. I don't do fussy well, and I also don't do room temp ingredients well.
Yeah.
And then we're going to add vegetable oil, which I love oil-based cakes. They last forever on the counter. Yes. They never get dry, and they're so easy.
Yeah. But also, I will say you can easily swap in olive oil. You know, you take a recipe and then you kind of adapt it for something else. So in my first book, I have this like olive oil devil's food cake. It is really delicious with olive oil. So you can swap that in.
I love that. I love that.
Elevate.
So then we're going to add some eggs. Again, we're assuming temperature doesn't really matter. We're cracking those eggs in. We're going to add some vanilla extract. Favorite brand of extract?
Nielsen Massey.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
It says mix well, but we're whisking. That's what I love about this. You don't ever have to grab a spatula.
No, yeah. I mean, I would to get it out of the bowl.
Right. But in terms of all the mixing, it's like the dry,
and you
the
have
wet.
to eat at least half the batter before you put it in the pan.
You have to spill it on purpose on the counter.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, then we're going to pour the batter into the prepared pan. It's pretty thin. People get scared of a thin batter because they think
it's like the Pantene Pro V. Like, it's like Eva Longoria's hair going into the pan. It's just like luscious. It's glowing.
Yeah,
it's
so good.
Well conditioned and moisturized, and the bounce you'll get.
Love Eva's hair. Okay, so we're going to bake until the tester inserted in the center comes out clean. 2 questions. In the video, it's a literal cake tester that you're using. What are you using at home?
I'm going to tell you what I'm using.
Yeah.
So this past winter, we got rid of Bimpy's house and I was able to grab a lot of stuff and I found the cake tester that my grandma used her entire life.
Oh my!
It's this beautiful metal with like the round top. It looks like a key ring.
Yes.
And I remember her using it for everything. And so I have it.
Oh,
and I lose it constantly and I freak out. But it's so special. So otherwise I would use a knife.
Yeah.
or like a toothpick.
Yeah. I'm like a wooden skewer person.
Yeah, wooden
skewer. Yeah. But I love the little, I can picture the little ring on the top. And it says insert in the center of the cake until it comes out clean. Do you ever do moist crumbs? Like, I sometimes like to see crumbs come out on my tester because I hate overbaked cake. And I worry.
I've never heard of this.
You're not a moist crumb guy. Good to know. Good to know. And we're going to bake for like 35 to 45 minutes. Do you ever rotate?
You just kind of know your oven. If you have a really good even oven.
Do you now have a really good even oven?
No. Yeah. But who does? But some people do.
I have to have I have to have a thermometer in there and be adjusting all the time.
I like to make a recipe that kind of just can
bake itself.
If you want to do more,
go
rotate
for it.
Okay. Like, I think people listen. If there's one thing I've learned from the New York Times cooking comment section, is people are going to do whatever they want anyways. So I'm just going to write a nice, lovely recipe.
And then let people go to town with their rotating instructions that they add.
Rotate
in the comments.
It's not going to hurt it.
Right.
Right.
All right. We're going to set the pan on a wire rack, let cool completely about 2 hours. And maybe while it's cooling, we'll make the chocolate pudding. Medium saucepan. Saucepan.
The saucier from Allclad. The rounded, if you're whisking.
With the rounded edges so that you can whisk easily.
Allclad makes good whisk too, but Material Kitchen's kind of my go-to. But I have both. But
No, I meant that you can get your whisk
you get your whisk, a rounded pan. It's heaven.
Yeah. All right, so medium saucepan, we're going to whisk granulated sugar. We're going to whisk cocoa powder, cornstarch, kosher salt. First of all, can I just flag that I love that this is a cornstarch chocolate pudding rather than one with eggs. It's just easy peasy, and they're so
it's going to be thick.
Delicious.
Yeah.
We're going to whisk in whole milk. I will admit that sometimes I'm really extra and I add heavy cream.
Go for it.
Yeah, just because I love fat. That's my favorite.
I just don't usually have heavy cream.
In the house, I do.
But then you're using it for the whip, so maybe...
Yeah, not a bad idea. But, okay, set the saucepan over medium heat. Whisk constantly as the mixture heats up and thickens.
Let it bubble.
When it thick and bubble, about 12 minutes, remove from the heat. Okay, sometimes when I make my cornstarch chocolate pudding, I turn the heat up more, and then I cook it more quickly.
Sure.
But I guess people can be scared of that. Because then
I think it's really easy to burn.
Yep.
I've burned shit all the time because I'm always like, I'm like, I can do 5 things at once.
Right.
And then I'm
I can leave the room.
So it's, this is just easy. You're not going to be stressed. you don't want too many bubbles in your people. You might burn yourself. Like, these are the things that we're about.
Totally.
But yeah, it's like, I think the pudding, I mean, the cake, everything's really easy. The pudding is probably the hardest part, but it's also so easy.
And also it's delicious by itself. So take this recipe out and just make a chocolate pudding. Which is,
you know what I love to do with chocolate pudding too? One of my party tricks years ago was I would get a box of chocolate pudding and I would swap the milk for coconut milk. Ooh. So good. And then you can like mix coconut flakes or make like a little coconut whip. It's the easiest, like, oops, I didn't make dessert. Just so good. People are like, what is this? It's so delicious. And I'm like, it's my coconut chocolate pudding.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I'll say.
Anyways.
All right. So then immediately we'll take it off the heat. We whisk in some butter and some vanilla until the butter's fully melted. Pour the pudding into a heat-proof bowl. Cover the top with plastic wrap to get rid of the skin. Are you anti-skin?
I just think, no, what are you going to do with the skin?
I know. People like to eat it. But you can't put that in the recipe.
I see. Oh,
yeah.
Learning
people
a lot
like
about
to
you.
Peel. Yeah.
Do you like the skin?
No, I'm like you. I totally get rid of my skin. But some people are like, oh, the skin's the best part. Okay, so we're going to refrigerate the pudding until we're ready to use. But I had a question. Let's say you made the cake the day before.
Please.
Can you assemble when it's still warm, the pudding? No.
Don't assemble any of this when it's warm.
Do you want the pudding as thick as it would be if you were eating it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thick. Everything should be cold because otherwise it's going to get melty.
Yeah, like 100%, and that'd be gross.
No, yeah.
I got you. I got you. So definitely should not be warm. Should not be
I would
horrible.
make all of this the day before,
right? And then you can
or
just
like
assemble.
in the morning and some. Like everything has really good shelf life here.
Yeah.
Even the whipped cream.
All right, now we're going to make the whipped cream. We're going to add heavy cream and granulated sugar. Question: would you ever put confectioner sugar in your whipped cream?
You could. I think one of my goals for this recipe was that it was a little bit tangier and less sweet than the Cool Whip box mix version. And I thought, like, otherwise, why would you make all this from scratch? I wanted it to have a point of view. And so I find that confectioner sugar, just like the sweetness you get from that is a little bit more the direction of Cool Whip than
granulated.
There's people who might not keep confectioners in their...
Right, but they've already used granulated in the other two components, so it's easy.
Yeah, and so you could easily use it, and I also, like, I have to assume that someone's going to taste the whipped cream, and then if they want more sugar, they'll go hard on it. Yeah. That's my thought on that.
Okay. So we're going to add the heavy cream, granulated sugar, vanilla, bowl of a stand mixer fitted with a whisk attachment. We'll beat at medium, 3 to 4 minutes, scraping the bowl periodically until we get stiff peaks. And then we're going to refrigerate until ready to use. Do you ever make it right before assembling it, or do you like it to sit in the fridge?
Oh, I'll make it before. You can wait. Like, that's the one where, like, you can make whipped cream and use it right away.
Perfect.
So there's also, like, some people in the comments were like, you should put some sort of stabilizer. So if you're worried, you could put a little sour cream. But it's not. I mean,
cream cheese.
I've let this last for days, and it's fine.
And it's still good.
Yeah.
Yum. The comments, I can't believe you read them.
I did on the YouTube video. I don't usually read the ones on the recipe.
Yes, peeps, the video is so cute. Please go watch Dan make this. It's really cute.
It was really fun.
It's really cute and beautiful. There's like incredible drips of pudding.
Oh my God, the drips.
The drips were so good. Incredible.
And that's what I love about this recipe is just you can make a mess.
Yeah, so good.
You can make a total mess.
So good.
When I was developing this, I just remember this. I was so anxious and I texted Jessie and I was like, I'm making this recipe, and I was in Brooklyn. I was like, if I put some of it in Tupperware and put it in an Uber, will you? And so I like literally put some in an Uber and sent it to her via Messenger. And so there's like this little bit of my Death by Chocolate going in a car, and she tasted it and gave me her thoughts, which was so sweet.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to assemble the trifle. We're going to cut the cake into 2-inch squares, arrange half the pieces in a pile at the bottom of the forecourt. Trifle dish or large bowl. Do you have like a fab vessel?
I have a few thousand trifle dishes, but I just want to encourage everyone that you could just do this in a big bowl. Yeah. It doesn't have to be see-through. You can just make a bowl of it.
Or if you have like a Pyrex glass bowl, that will also work as a trifle dish. And
I don't want anyone to hold
barriers to entry.
Back.
Yeah.
Like
no
you
barriers.
And you could do it in 9x13 and just do one layer, whatever you want.
Yeah,
like,
yum.
You know what I mean?
Or like in a snacking cake. Yum.
Yeah, or
all
just like put it in your bathtub.
Yeah. Hello.
Like duh.
All right, we're going to avoid large gaps as we like kind of pack in our pieces.
You're going to do a lot of pressing.
But we're not going to worry if the pieces crumble. We're going to spread half the chocolate pudding on top of the cake, gently pushing down as you go.
Push down.
Then we're going to add half the whipped cream, sprinkle with some of our crunchy, which if you're me, Dan, or Dan's mom, you're using Oreos, evenly on top. And then you repeat the whole thing. Layering once more.
It's going to be like really overflowing and gorgeous. You can really edge the whole thing perfectly if you want to.
Yeah.
The sort of art of a trifle can be engaged, but don't freak out.
Yep.
It's going to be really fun looking no matter what.
Refrigerate for at least 2 hours up to overnight. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer
I do
overnight?
I mean, I'm overnight.
Yeah, because that's the beauty of it. It's a make-ahead dessert.
Cold.
And also make-ahead.
Yeah, make-ahead. Oh, yeah.
Love for like a potluck.
I think, yeah.
This is like the summer dessert for Father's Day.
I think it's the summer dessert. 4th of July.
For 4th of July. I was going to say Memorial Day.
Every time I bring this to any event, people freak
Yeah, they go insane. I'm sure. Really, we're going to serve it chilled directly from the fridge.
Yes.
Thank you so much for chatting with me today, Dan. And I just want to say that you are my cherry pie.
Oh, thank you.
And my death by chocolate.
Do you need a co-host?
Yes. Please, I'm pitching you. That's it for today's show. Don't forget to follow She's My Cherry Pie on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And tell your pals about us. She's My Cherry Pie is a production of the Cherry Bomb Podcast Network. Our producers are Carrie Diamond, Catherine Baker, and Jenna Sadu. Thank you so much for listening to She's My Cherry Pie. And happy baking.